Rangers,
Rangers,
all the way,
all the way.
Here we go,
Here we go,
here we go,
here we go.
C-130 rolling down the strip.
C-130 rolling down the strip.
Airborne Daddy gonna take a little trip.
Airborne Daddy gonna take a little trip.
Mission unspoken, destination unknown.
Oh, Goldthorpe, holy shit.
That guy never should have left the supply room.
You guys freaking kiwied his hair. You remember that?
I remember there was one point. You know how we go to the chow hall and we'd all pile in the Scooby van and we get like half the platoon in there. We'd have like 20 guys in one van, and it's like those little Kia vans. There's like 6 seats in there. I think we had like 20 people that we
Hodge
all the
vans
seats
or what?
up.
The Hodge vans, yeah.
So we cruise up there. I remember the shocks were completely bottomed out. So we're like literally every time you hit a little bump, it was like, and we like it was like a circus. We'd pull up to the chow hall. There's all these like big time people going to chow, and like it'd be like, just like 20 guys would pile out of this van, and all these like legs were walking around like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I remember Goldthorpe did something, and Noonan's like, Coop, take care of that. And I walk out, and literally, I remember it was all the team leaders. We walk out, it was like Hunter and me, and who else was there? Foster, I think Forbes was with us too. We like walk up, and Coop's on top of Goldthorpe in the parking lot next to the van, just to his forehead. So like every time he was punching him in the forehead, he's like, I wanted to hit him so it wouldn't leave any marks, except the next day he had these goose eggs like all over his forehead. I was like,
man.
oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Talking about the van, we went to Washington State up there with 2nd Bat to train on the Strikers when we first got them. So Weapon Squad went up with a couple other the weapon squads of the platoons. So there was a good amount of us, and we go up there in Washington, and it was literally drinking all night and 4-wheeling all day. It was ridiculous. We flipped the Striker. We rolled the Striker on its side.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I broke the axle on one.
Did you?
Yeah. Snapped the axle, man.
Yeah. Freaking I remember one time it was some holiday. I don't know if it was St. Patty's or something. We were there, and Pab's hanging over the TC hatch, puking his guts out, and then he got done puking, and then it was his turn to drive. So he jumped in the hatch, and then we took turns driving.
What's it, a 4-ton Striker?
Oh, it's bigger
It's
than that.
insane.
No, it's
40
close-
ton, 40 ton.
Yeah.
40 tons.
So but to drive from Tacoma to
80,000-pound vehicle.
No big deal.
Yeah, but we had these conversion vans to get us from Tacoma to Washington to the base, and the very, very first day we were leaving 2nd Bat, and we almost caused an entire pileup on the highway because we have 4 vans or 3 vans, and Rangers gonna try to race each other, so. We're racing down the highway in these vans, and we're there for driver's training, okay, for Strikers, for driver's training. So we're racing these freaking minivans basically down the highway, and we come over this hill, and traffic stopped. It's just taillights. So Pab, he swerves off the highway, goes in the side lane, and slams on the brake, and then you see three vans behind us follow us. We're all slamming on the brakes, and we finally stop, and there was 5 cars next to us that we would have fucking ran into.
Jeez, man.
And Pab's like, yeah, this way you get insurance. As we're racing, we're freaking doing combatives in the back, because at the time you would kiwi your boots and shit before the brown boots or whatever it is now. So when we turned the van and we broke the front windshield, and we had kiwi marks all over the top of the van.
That shit does not come out easy, man. Just not. Back when you had to shine your boots and iron your uniforms,
And Pav, he was like, that's why you get insurance.
I remember we had a squad party at Pav's house. Were you there for that?
Yeah.
He got in his pickup truck and started doing donuts around the house. He's like, fuck it, it's a rental. And he's like drifting the pickup through his front lawn.
You put an 80-year-old grandma in a rental car, and she's gonna do a burnout.
You have to.
This is
man.
what you do in a rental car, man.
Michael Rock had a party at his house with the sniper platoon.
Who was that? Brock?
Michael Rock.
Yeah.
Rock. And so, like, I show up there. I think Christina came too. I ended up leaving fairly early. But what commenced was, so Brenner shows up. It's pretty early. Brenner shows up.
this
with
isn't
these
a good
really,
comment.
with
You
these-
already know it's a party. and Brenner's there. Yeah.
So Ben Durham is
Yeah.
there, and Junior's there, and so Durham always used to show up. He'd bring a handle of Patron with him to these parties and stuff. Like, all right, let's get this going, good, you know. And Rock's got like all these kids, and he can't find a shot glass anywhere in his house. So they come out with baby food jars for shot glasses.
Oh my God.
So you know how big a baby food jar is, right? Okay. So these guys are doing shots out of baby food jars.
Oh my
Full baby food jar full of Patron.
Oh my God.
Just pounding these things. Renner shows up with these girls. He's making out with one of them, and then we find out this girl's still in high school.
I heard about
So we're like, yeah, she probably shouldn't be here right now, Renner. And I think he started getting all emotional and
Yeah,
stuff again. And anyway, what happened later was Brock's wife got so pissed off at him that she locked him out of the house. So he, at like 3 a.m, gets his chainsaw out, and he's got a wood pile up over by his shed, and he's got this big wood pile, and he just starts the chainsaw and commences to cutting just through his wood pile.
For what?
I don't know, dude.
Oh my God.
After you polish off a whole handle of Patron.
Oh yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you'd freaking
Cut down the door
chainsaw
or
his
something.
door.
Yeah. I thought so. I was like, wow.
Bro, you remember balling dudes up in Missoula when you guys would just go out and like find
You freaking
privates?
sicked us like dogs on people. You, like, you had us go ball people up, and like we did it for fun. We got bored, and like I said, weapon squad. We had like freaking so many guys, so we went around and we balled up the entire platoon.
I thought you were just random guys.
No, one
like,
by one.
Oh,
like
no,
you
no,
got like
legs walking down
you'd have like privates like walking
Yeah.
across the gravel to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and Carmody and the privates and weapon squad just be like, and like stomp them a few. They'd be flex cuffed with the
I got
with the
pictures of
Hoods, yeah, they put hoods over it.
it was like stuff that we used on the detainees, and we have pictures of it. And I'm scared to death of them ever going public because people will think they won't understand the context. And be
No,
like,
yeah.
Oh, they were abusing detainees.
Yeah,
You know,
how old
these
is
are
he?
American privates that we balled up and we're messing with.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Like Breeden, like he lost his tooth. He has a fake tooth or something. So we're like balling him up, and he like smiles, and he's missing a tooth. I was like, oh shit! Like,
do that?
did we knock your tooth out? He's like, oh no, it's just he like put it back. I was like, oh shit! So yeah, we balled up all these guys, and like
And by the end of the night, they'd have them up like sitting on the bed, and there'd be like 7 or 8 of them.
like detainees.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
fucking
badass.
Clayton walks in as we're doing this, and he walks in, and he's like, he looks at us, and he sees what's going on, and he like jumps out. He's like.
Like if I pretend I didn't see it, it's
Yeah.
okay.
And wait, he's like, you coming after me? We're like, no. He's like, all right. And then fucking walks out. He goes away.
Oh man, Brenner. Oh God, first
got-
deployment.
yeah,
in
a lot of
Missoula.
stories about
Oh,
Brenner,
Brenner
man.
is such an amazing character because
got stories about
he's
Brenner.
he's like a cartoon character.
He is, man.
Because we had this climb. It was like a fast rope tied up, like a section of fast rope, and it was like probably
in the
like
AO
20
that he-
feet.
that he used to
Well, no,
sign
this
on.
wasn't in the AO. This was in Missoula, the first deployment.
really?
Oh, okay.
And there's this little, so it's like shoes all lined up, and you walk, and they had like the sandbags and Hescos, like, but then there was a little section where it kind of cut in, just like a little keyhole right there, where guys would hang out. There was like a table set up. Well, they hooked up this rope. I don't even know what it was hooked to, but it was up above, and you could climb up the Hesco wall. And Brenner would wait till other privates were walking. You'd hear people's footsteps, and he'd climb up and be on this rope, just waiting, and would come flying down as soon as somebody came into like this little keyhole. He'd come flying in and just like 2 foot. You know, he'd be like, ah! They turn like chest, just be like, just launch dudes, just flying down. He would also. I remember that was when we had the the Polar Tech black long underwear, the Silkies.
Yeah.
He would get fully dressed up in that with the balaclava.
The ninja?
And you'd be sitting in the room talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you'd hear like, and you'd be like, what the hell was that? And then across the top of the roof, and you're like, it's Brenner jumping from building to building, all ninjaed up, and he'd like wait till a private was coming by and just jump on their back and start following them up and like flex cuff them and then run off. The guy was insane. He's the only person I've ever seen that was somebody had him in the rear naked, and
He had
like
retarded
this,
strength.
he was like standing right here.
Yeah.
Somebody had him, and it was like a full platoon brawl. They were the only two guys left, and he goes, and then jumps and does a backflip over the guy.
Dude, Brenner's a hard guy to roll with,
and
man.
reverses it on the guy.
Brenner's a
And the
hard
whole
guy to
platoon's
roll
just
with.
like, did that shit just happen?
Dude, the thing you got to understand, like the people got to understand about Brenner is that the dude weighs like 120 pounds.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
5'2".
Yeah, but he's
Freaking
He
solid.
fights like he's
crazy
slugging
strong.
solid 300
So
pounds of muscle.
Brenner, I remember he went to a Vanilla Ice concert and he stole the skull, the silver
We hung it.
skull.
Yeah.
He stole from the drummer set and took off. So we had this up in our AO, but where our wall lockers are. We hung the silver skull with the red eyes, and we took a Ranger tan beret and put it on the skull and
Brenner
like,
stole
fixed
that.
it all up.
Brenner's
I know,
Brenner's a klepto. I mean, he was always, but he was good at it. He fucking always.
Me and
caught the
Brenner
shit.
shared a room in Afghanistan, and for that big deployment in Afghanistan, 2009, he would play. What was that computer game where you maneuver the little pieces around? It's like a wizard game or something like that.
World of Warcraft.
There you go, dude. Fuck yeah, man. He would sit in the room. I had.
We always did score throw. Score throw.
I had
a.
He would wear like these boxers or just put a towel over him. And I'm on the other side of the room, and we'd get off of a pretty badass mission. And he'd sit there, he's like, time to play fucking World of Warcraft. And he'd play it for hours on end. So I go over there, I'm looking at him playing, I'm like, dude, what's the big deal about this game? He's like, I don't know. It's got me going. I'm like, damn. He wouldn't sleep, man, for days on playing World of Warcraft.
He had a unicycle. And so we would be drinking in the barracks, and next thing you know, there's a naked Brenner on a unicycle.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
So he's bouncing off the walls, trying to stay up, and you see a freaking. There's white, and then there's Brenner white. Like he's the whitest of white.
Yeah, he's Casper, dude. He's straight Casper.
Yeah, and you see his Casper ass on a unicycle going down the hallway, and you're just like, well, I guess it's time for bed. Like, it's that time.
we
now.
had a house party one time, one of many house parties we had, and Brenner was there, and he was like kind of hooking up with this chick, and like she was sloppy drunk, like there were like titties flying out in the middle of this party. He was like, was it you? You were wrestling around on the ground with her too, weren't you, Carmody?
Are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking
Doc's
about.
freaking sister-in-law?
No.
Wait a second.
No, she was a local. She was a townie from Columbus.
Auburn girl?
I don't think this woman had a college education.
Oh.
She
They usually don't on victory drive.
you know, Brenner talks a lot of shit, and she gets pissed off and starts talking shit to Brenner.
Yeah.
And then Brenner gets pissed
Brenner's
off.
got some drinks in him. He can't handle it. You know.
He's like,
So Brenner takes off like throwing shit and screaming, and goes into my bedroom, slams the door, and he throws something through my bedroom window.
Jeez.
Like, goddamn, Brennan. And then the girl comes up to me because now Brennan's gone, or Brenner's gone. So she comes and yells at me, and she's like, I am not a slut. That's not true. I've only slept with 2 men, my baby's daddy and some guy I met at a bus stop. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
okay, I need to
It
go.
would have been 3.
Yeah, I don't think I was there for that. I don't remember
Speaking
that.
of crazy house parties and stuff that's happened with you, wasn't there a case? Didn't somebody open up AK like blanks or something?
Yeah,
in your
Jansen
house?
shot an AK blank at me from about 5 feet away in the house, and I almost had a fucking heart attack.
Dude, I would have freaked out.
Way to get the party started, I
Yeah.
guess.
No, it was like maybe 1 PM on a Saturday. There was no party to speak of.
Wednesday.
Yeah. It was Wednesday.
Damn.
Yeah, but we had some crazy house parties, man. Because I lived with like 4. It was me and like 3 other Rangers and one college kid, like local college kid, living in this house.
Oh yeah. What?
Yeah.
Bird dog.
Bird dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a point like all those other 3 guys, they were out on training, and I was the only Ranger left in the house. And Bird dog says, "It's not fair. All these other guys get to have a party. Why don't I get to have a party?" I was like, "Well, you can have a party, dude. I don't care. Do what you got to do." So he has all these girls over and all these like crazy rednecks from like Columbus University or whatever the hell it is. Dude, you remember that there was like a good like half inch of like beer and water and God only knows what else on the floor by the end of the night. It was just horrendously bad.
Just a regular house.
The girls softball team.
Yeah, that's always who they Bird dog always hung out with. All those girls.
Yeah, the
and
girls
stuff.
softball team in
We
Columbus.
got into a
Columbus
huge
University.
brawl at one of those parties.
They knew better to
From
fuck
some
with us
college
because we all
kids.
had guns.
Yeah.
I remember the one big fight we got into. Dude, it never turns out good. I mean, guys are just laid the fuck out. You know, rear naked. You know, you look around, it's like guys in guillotine and rear nakeds, triangle chokes, and all this, and throat punch to the, from hell, man.
Death Blossom.
Yeah, it's like we'd go out to a club or something like that down in downtown in Columbus, and you're bound to get into a fight.
Scruffy Murphys.
Scruffy Murphy.
hell yeah,
Oxygen. We went down to Oxygen.
Oxygen.
Holy shit.
You got some airborne student that's got
Oh,
like
my-
his
dude.
first jump done. He's like, he goes up to like, he always picks like, I'm like, are you retarded, dude? Like,
Yeah.
Mancotti's out there at the bar.
He's like
huge
5'9".
Mancotti just walking around, and this guy's like, some airborne student just goes up to him like, hey, you little pussy. He's like, what? Like,
Mancotti's like freaking.
He makes you think that Bigfoot exists.
Yeah,
because
he does,
Mancotti
man.
is fucking a white
After he got
gorilla.
the
shot
guy
in the
got
face,
shot in the
right?
face.
He got
yeah,
shot in the
lived.
face.
And he called over the radio.
I got shot.
I
in
just
the
got
face.
shot in the face.
And then chucked the grenade on
And
top
we're
of
like-
the building.
What? Fucking
And then killed the guy who did it.
yeah.
That is
With his
bad.
bare hands.
Well, yeah,
He threw a grenade.
he was looking in the cupola, and the guy, I guess, was down the stairs, but was looking up. It was just like one of those
Yeah.
lucky shots. Shot up through, went through the window of the cupola door, went through his nods, demilled his nods, and luckily had his Oakleys on, and it protected his eye. But the shrapnel went through and went into his skull above his eye.
Holy
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
And then he just gets on the radio like, "Yeah, I just got shot in the face."
Let me kill this guy that just did it.
Yeah.
Kinda
Yeah, and
pissed
then he
off right
returned
now.
fire down there and killed him.
Yeah. Like, yeah. You
Fuck it,
fucking you got your man
I saw
card.
Mancotti. You guys don't know about this one. The sunflower. Do you know about that? Mancotti got into a fight downtown dressed up as a sunflower for Halloween and whooped some guy's ass. And
Dressed as a sunflower?
he was a big giant sunflower. And some guys fucked with him or whatever, and he beat somebody's ass. And then 2 cops try to come get Mancotti, and he beats their ass. No charges were filed or whatnot. I mean, the dude's dressed
Yeah.
up as a sunflower.
Well, yeah, it's because they're like, no cop's gonna admit to getting their ass beat by a sunflower.
Giant sunflower
I got
came out of
beat by a
nowhere.
giant sunflower, man.
That's awesome.
Mancotti was a
I remember
Animal, man.
we were drinking. We were pre-gaming before we went downtown, and it was Hildebrandt, me, Ford, like the first weapon squad fucking guys. So like all of us were rolling deep down there. We just get downtown, okay, and we were walking towards Oxygen, and there was a bar where they had these plastic tables on the outside. People were drinking, enjoying a nice summer night or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking Hildebrandt runs across the road, jumps on the table, smashes the plastic table that people were sitting at, and fucking gets up and runs off and takes off. So within 30 seconds, we had like 5 cops chasing him, like all this shit. We're all in handcuffs, and so me and Hildebrandt, we're in the back of a police car, and we're just like, shit, dude, how are we gonna tell
RFS.
Sergeant about this? Yeah, we're like, fuck. And then we look, and then there's like 10 other bad guys in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Well, Roscoe saved us. Well, Roscoe, he's obliterated drunk off tequila, and the cop says, this guy is the most sober, and he saved you guys, and he's gonna take you home. And we looked at each other, we're like,
Okay.
whatever, get me out of the handcuffs. And then Roscoe, he's like, oh, y'all, man, I'll save you. And we go home after that. But I was like, if the cops really thought he was the sober one,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
It's guaranteed every Ranger will be drunk after a deployment downtown. If you see a Ranger downtown in Columbus,
Just
Georgia,
walk away, man.
Yeah, just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just probably walk away. Just,
Don't do it.
yeah, don't do it. You see one guy, but there's like 50 Brenners in the background hiding in the bushes.
Wearing their ninja
We're in
outfits.
the ninja shit.
And
Yeah.
we get in a big brawl, and like we found out it was like military. Like one time it turned out it was a bunch of officers we beat the shit out of, and you yell, what is it?
I know what you're talking about.
Fucking
Pimp in distress.
No,
what
it's
is
the-
it?
it's the-
Marines
oh.
say freaking.
It's the code word to fucking. You know what it is.
What is it, Marine? The
It's been around for
day-
a long time.
I
I
don't know.
mean, we would just say Ranger, and you guys.
Well, no, we wouldn't say it.
because
We
you
would
wanted
we
to-
would
yeah,
say it
yeah.
because there was Marines and airborne.
Yeah.
armies.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
we would yell their freaking little creed like it was. God, how do none of us know this?
Because it was gay.
No, it is gay, man. It's like the Marine fucking slogan, like the few, the
Simplify?
proud, simplify.
Simplify.
Yeah. So we would yell simplify and fucking take off, and there was always cops out
So
there.
they'd think it was a bunch of
Yeah,
Marines.
so there was always MPs
remember
down
that,
at airborne
yeah.
school, freaking looking at the Marines when it was fucking a mile down the road.
St. Peter's gonna say,
St. Peter's gonna say,
how'd you earn your living?
how'd you earn your living?
How'd you earn your pay?
How'd you earn your pay?
I will reply with a whole lot of anger.
I will reply with a whole lot of anger.
Earn my pay as an airborne ranger.
Earn my pay.